In 1775, continental resistance against the oppression of Britain's rule seemed pointless. The British Navy was among the most powerful in all of history, and fresh off the battles of the French and Indian War, no one could deny that Britain was a true force to be reckoned with. Comparing the unseasoned militiamen that were the Continental Army, a ragtag group of colonists from all walks of life, to the British, was ants to a boot. Succeeding in gaining independence? A pipe dream. A figment of the patriotic imagination. Until it wasn't. With the leadership of Generals Washington, von Steuben, Knox, and Rochambeau, the Continental Army took shape to become a patriotic force. Many battles were won and lost, and the identity of a new nation forged. With the aid of both France and Spain, the Treaty of Paris declared the colonies independent from Britain. Independence was a reality, and contributing to that victory in the battlefield were the men. In the cities, however, the social battles were fought by women. The start of the homespun movement, which refused the use of British textiles and clothes, was a peaceful protest. More than that, a display of patriotism. Women spun clothes for the armies as well as for themselves. In this way, by refusing the goods of the British, women in the cities and their families attained the same goal as the Boston Tea Party: protest the taxes and show what would happen if their views were ignored. Patriotic organizations such as the Ladies of Philadelphia raised funds for the war efforts as well. Over $300,000 were raised for the war efforts through similar ladies' organizations overseen by women such as Esther Reed, Sarah Bach, and Martha Washington. Protests were demonstrated in untraditional ways as well, like in the case of Mercy Warren, who wrote ruthlessly satirical plays about local British officials, ruining their reputations and their spheres of influence. Hannah Griffiths, a poet, also wrote patriotic poems that inspired local families to boycott the British goods. Similarly, some colonial women made permanent names for themselves due to their writing and patriotism, like Anise Stockton. As a member of the Mid-Atlantic Writing Circle, she wrote about many historical events, like the Revolution. She was the first and only woman to join the American Whig Society, which gave her the opportunity to guard sensitive documents during the war. Patriot women were also known to act as spies during the Revolution. Army dispatches and letters could be concealed under petticoats. The women would then ride through enemy territory, the loyalists not suspecting a thing. Deborah Sampson, Harriet Hall, and Lydia Derrig all succeeded in getting information to their compatriots. 16-year-old Sybil Luddington is said to have ridden on horseback 40 miles through villages, knocking on the doors of militiamen and warning them of the incoming redcoats. She's considered the female Paul Revere, though some still debate if the event happened. Women in the cities marched on supply storage facilities, performing as many as 30 raids against what they deemed unreasonable merchants. This created a real fear in the minds of British leadership as their winter supplies became increasingly less safe. As Christopher Gadsden, a brigadier general during the Revolution, said, "Our political salvation at this crisis depends altogether upon the strictest economy, that the women could, with propriety, have the principal management thereof." Basically, imploring women to help turn the economy to the continental favor. The fighters of the American Revolution, the armies, great battles with strategy and casualties and heroes, were what won the war and American independence. But not alone. The people back home did too. The war was not just a linear battle where the American underdogs killed all and won. It was a push and pull that called to action every part of society. Battles of a different kind were fought in the cities, with refusal of service and a change in the gender roles, as women ran businesses in lieu of their husbands and sons. Boycotting of businesses was common to prevent the success of the British whenever possible. Even now, nearly 250 years later, we're not so different. We boycott industries when they impede on our values and pursue the effort to retain the American ideals: freedom, opportunity, equality, and the right to fight for what we believe. With the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution coming up, it's more important than ever to remember the men and women that worked together to start our nation.